I am Behailu from Ethiopian Commodity Exchange. So basically my presentation focuses on the market infrastructure that has built by the Ethiopian Commodity Exchange. So to start with, these are some of the contents of the presentation. Basically, the presentation is about Ethiopian Commodity Exchange, but to put things in perspective, I'll first touch upon market infrastructure in general in capital market, then go directly to the Ethiopian Commodity Exchange market infrastructure. So basically, market infrastructures are providers of a platform or an avenue that people come in and trade and get the various services out of the various participants in the market infrastructure value chain. They can range from international exchange, the well-known exchange, like the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, and other service providers like the Bloomberg, the brokerage companies, security depositors, and others are involved in market infrastructure. So basically, exchange is one market infrastructure. So looking into a capital market infrastructure, this is taken from a McKinsey report, 2017 report. It tries to see a capital market infrastructure from the perspective of a value chain. So according to this report, a market infrastructure is a value chain, and there are different actors that are involved across the value chain, and the different actors involved in the value chain provide different kind of service. It could be in the pre-trading stage of the value chain, or in the trading stage, or in the post-trading stage. So basically, in the pre-trading and trading, those infrastructure service providers provide the trade facilitation and execution services. When it comes to the post-trading activity, there are clearing and settlement, custody, security advisories, and other services. And there are also service providers that provide service all the way in the value chain, like the data and information and the technology infrastructure. So having said this, let me come to Ethiopian Commodity Exchange. So it's a market infrastructure, it's an avenue, a platform that brings buyers and sellers into a central marketplace to trade, to transact, and to get assured of quality, delivery, and payment. So this infrastructure, unlike many other exchanges in the world and in Africa, because most of the infrastructure required to execute the trading activity are not available, the exchange is designed in such a way that it provides an end-to-end service, starting from accepting the physical commodities in the warehouses, all the way to final settlement of cash and delivery. So these are some of the major services that we are providing: the grading, the warehousing, the trading, the clearing and settlement, the market information, the membership and compliance monitoring. Looking into the institutional arrangement, how we are organized, it's a kind of non-profit enterprise or company, and it's established by its own law. So basically, there are three parties on the exchange. There is an owner, it's the government of Ethiopia, so it's a government-owned entity, and there are members. So basically, the members are the one who have the preferential right to trade on the exchange, either for themselves or for their clients. And there is a management, it's an independent management, autonomous management, and the management cannot be out of members or from the government, and the government again cannot be a member and a management, and members cannot be an owner and management. So there is purely interdependency among the three parties, and it's managed by a joint board of directors from the private sector as well as from the public. So this is a market ecosystem. We have brought many components for the market to operate, because none of this institution was at the time non-existent in Ethiopia. So it's a kind of bringing all the required institution in a window, in a kind of window, and integrates them in such a way that they can deliver, the system can deliver the required services. So at the top of the hierarchy, there is basically the exchange report to Ministry of Trade Industry, and we get policy direction from the Ministry of Trade. And next to that, there is an authority that is the foremost authority that oversees the entire operation of the exchange to ensure that everything is going smoothly in the best interest of the market as well as the general public. So we have the National Exchange Actor Association. So this is an association organized out of the members. So every members in the exchange are a member to the association. So under them there are agents and there are clients. And on the other side there is an arbitration and tribunal system. So if there is any default in the market, instead of going to an ordinary court of law, the exchange authority has an arbitration tribunal, and its settled disputes arise out of transaction. We do have the market information system. So this is basically providing the function of informing the market about current and historical prices so that buyers and sellers could make an informed decision. And in the center of this system is our trading platform. This is an electronic trading platform right now. From 5 years, somewhere in 2050, before 2050, it was a trading platform that requires the physical presence of traders. It was a floor trading system where traders come to shout their quotation, their order in the market. But right now it's an electronic trading platform, and this platform is connected to an electronic trading center, remote trading center, that resides outside of the capital city. We do have trading center in Hawassa in South, Humera and Naqamte, and there are more coming up. So we have a data center that runs the whole bunch of data that's running through the system, and in fact we have clearing banks. All commercial banks are part of the clearing system, and we do have an electronic and secure integration with the banks. And we have, in fact, the warehouses that are providing the grading and the warehousing service. So just to show you how it works, how the system works, the market, the exchange, it brings buyers and sellers in the platform. And within the exchange, there is a clearing house. This is because, at the time the exchange was established, there was no clearing house in Ethiopia. And the one that was in the National Bank of Ethiopia, clear checks only. So the exchange has established its own clearing house within the system, the ecosystem. So there is a trading platform. So the trading platform brings buyers and sellers, and there are warehouses located all over the country in 23 locations, and banks, clearing and settlement banks. So there are members. These are providing either broking service or trading for their own account. So basically, the seller will deposit his commodity in one of our warehouses and give sale order to his member, a brokerage company. And the buyer, on the other side, deposits his cash for the amount you would like to buy and give buy order to his member at the exchange trading platform. So we are connected with the warehouses and with the banks, and we receive live information about the accounts of the buyers as well as the account of the seller from the banks as well as from the warehouses respectively. Then we issue reports that show the position report for the buyers and the sellers to involve in trading, and once trade is executed, cash will be transferred from the buyer's account to the seller account through the clearing banks, and commodity will be transferred from the seller to the buyer through our warehouse and central depository system. So this is the system, and there is a market data that is giving or feeding the market about current market price as well as historical market price. And there is also a market surveillance. Executing a transaction is one thing, but ensuring the integrity of that transaction is equally important when it comes to an exchange. So the market surveillance will ensure that everything is happening at the highest level of integrity and there is no manipulation in the market. So as we have said, it's the whole day and this is regulated. The exchange by itself is a self-regulated company, and there is also, as I mentioned earlier, an exchange authority that's regulating the overall function of the exchange. So having said this, let me come to some of the key market infrastructure that as an exchange would believe help to establish or move towards a capital market, and these infrastructures can be a springboard to move forward. One of the infrastructure is the trading platform. So this trading platform is purely now an electronic trading platform. It has an order entry system and an order routing system. So you are seeing, a trader watching the market to submit, and she is evaluating what's going on in the market and where the price is moving, so that she can submit either a buy or sell order. So there is a matching engine behind this. The matching engine will, sort out the buy and sell order and execute it based on the price time priority rule. And again, as I mentioned, this is integrated with the electronic trading platform. And an interesting thing is, this can be accessed from the trader's office or from the trader home, and it can also run in mobiles or smartphone. So again, the other infrastructure, the clearinghouse. Basically, the clearinghouse provides two critical functions. It manages the risk of transaction that's happening in the market, and it's giving integrity to the market through putting a risk mitigation mechanism like pre-trade deposit and security guarantee fund. If any party fails in the execution of a contract, the central counterparty comes in and settle that contract. So it's kind of a seller to every buyer, and it's a buyer to every seller. It's a central counterparty. This system is integrated with commercial banks, and thanks to National Bank of Ethiopia, before 5 years, it was a challenge to execute settlement of cash from one bank to the other. But starting May 2011, when the Ethiopian automated transfer system comes in, we are now participant to that system, and we can easily execute net settlement instruction through that system. So basically what's happening is, we collect money from the buyer's account to our settlement account that reside at every settlement bank. And once the buyer fulfills their obligations, they will be given a delivery notice to take their commodity, and we give the cash collected from the buyer's account directly to the sellers, and any short of cash or excess cash will be managed through the national payment infrastructure. So the other is, the central depository system. So this is giving the function of custody and settlement. So the central depository system issue electronic warehouse receipt for every deposit. That warehouse receipt could be traded or could be given to a financer to get access to finance. And this system executes title transfer through a secure platform connected with warehouse, and debits and credits the buyers and the seller account depending on the transaction. And finally, we have a data and information infrastructure. We do have different types. We have an electronic price ticker that disseminates information coming out of the trading platform every 10 seconds. And we have an SMS platform, so you can text a message and get price information instantly. And there is also an IVR system that you can call and get interactive response on the current price of commodities. And we do have websites, and we are also accessible on social media. And we have different mass media outlets, both print as well as electronic media. We broadcast information through different satellite television available in the country, so that people are, informed or live about the current market price. So basically, these are some of the infrastructure. As I mentioned earlier, we have compliance monitoring that's ensuring the integrity of the market along with the surveillance system. And there is also a business conduct committee who is, evaluating what's going on in the market. Is there any wrongdoers? And it, puts a penalty upon them based on the violations they have committed in the market. So generally, putting aside the decision to the authorities, this infrastructure platform can help us as we move forward to establish a capital market in Ethiopia. We have the payment platform, we have the trading platform, we do have a data information platform, we do have a depository platform. Indeed, it requires, you have to make it to fit for the purpose. This is designed purely for a commodity, but bringing another asset like financial product can be traded in this platform. Thank you very much.